What's up, everybody? My name is Dan Kornhauser.
And my name is Bobby Hunt.
Thank you guys for tuning in as we go on another journey into the world of sports with Bob and myself as your guides. We are going to be talking basketball this show, Bob. We're balls deep in the playoffs, and the Suns are playing the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. The Hawks, we'll get back to that later, but the Hawks are playing the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're almost there. So that's going to be our theme this time. We're going to start with the Knicks. We got three topics.
With that said, those four playoff teams.
We're going to change gears and go from the winners to some fucking losers.
But we're in New York, so we can do it.
Flip the script on you because we can.
Yeah.
Boston. Brooklyn's out. The Knicks are out. New York's in shame. We're disgusted. You know what? We'll get back to the Nets in a hot second. We'll talk Nets and Hawks and all that good stuff. But I do want to give the Knicks some love, and I do want to, stroke myself a little bit. Tibbs won Coach of the Year, as we know, and it was a very impressive year. Knicks went 41-31, finished fourth in the East, surprising everyone, especially me. I was talking about tanking most of the year, and just it was a joke. It was a fluke. I kind of bought in at the end, and I shouldn't have. I should have stuck with my laurels as I had the whole season and kept with what I was saying, that the Knicks are butt. Team was a fraud. It was a joke because I wasn't wrong. They played well all during the season. They were the best defense. They were amongst the most efficient teams. They played hard. The young guys seemed to develop and get better as the year went on. Barrett took the next step as we needed him to. And Tibbs did a really good job. For all the hate that I give the Knicks, Tibbs did a hell of a job. I know you, Greg, and a lot of other people are talking about Monty Williams and Utah's head coach, but I was never buying it. I was on Tibbs from the get-go, and I thought it was clear, and I'm just glad that's how it turned out. He deserved it.
He did deserve it, and I didn't disagree with you. I just thought Monty Williams was a worthy contender. It really had to be between the two of them.
Monty Williams sucked.
Well, I am glad that Tibbs won it. He did a great job with this Knicks team. Definitely got them a little ahead of schedule. I do think they played above their heads. I don't disagree with you there. I don't think they're the fourth best team in the East over a normal season. But I did like the progress. They do have some young pieces. They're still not a really young team, honestly. They do have a bunch of guys that are 29 or 30. And Derrick Rose is 32 or 33. So he played very well. Maybe they'll bring him back and maybe not have to pay him a ton of money.
We'll see.
He loves playing for Tibbs, so I do believe it's possible. But they need to still get younger and get healthy, especially Mitchell Robinson. We need a full year out of him.
Yes.
The Knicks need to go that route, but we saw development out of a lot of players. Year one was very encouraging. Now we just got to see him keep it up.
And we keep hearing about now New York is finally a destination for superstars. Guys are talking about it. Guys are interested. They want to come to New York again. We're a hot spot again. So it's nice to hear the Woj bombs and all that good stuff. And Stephen A. Smith coming out and saying that guys are talking. It's a thing, which is good. We need this. We need something to be hopeful for. But enough about the Knicks for a hot second. We're gonna move on. We're gonna stay in New York though. As we started to tell you guys earlier, the playoffs are going on. And the Bucks beat the Nets in 7. It was a heartbreaker for the Nets. They lost in overtime. It was a great game. Durant is a damn legend. He tried to carry that team, kicking and screaming across that finish line. He tried to end it at the end of the regulation with 1 second left. He was off by a couple of inches of his toe being over the line, putting up just historic lines in 2 of the last 3 games. And unfortunately, it was all for naught. They lost 115-111 in game 7 in overtime. Giannis went in, 40 points and 13 rebounds, 5 assists, just went hammer time. And he got help. He got help across the board from the rest of the guys in the starting lineup. And at the end of the day, all that mattered is, despite Durant's 48, they won.
It's amazing that the Nets even were that close and could have won it. when you consider no one on their bench scored.
Yep.
All of them had 0 points. And Joe Harris was terrible for pretty much the entire series, save for maybe game 1 or 2.
Sounds about right.
He was terrible. Didn't hit a wide open 3 that would have put him up. I forget how many points, but
Harden on
was
1.5 legs, playing 53 minutes.
It's crazy. They got it all from their starting 5. Durant carried again, 48 points in that game. He had 49 in that historic game 5 where they made the comeback.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't hurt his legacy at all.
Nope.
Giannis, absolutely monstrous for him. That's tremendous for Giannis.
He needed that.
He needed that in the worst way.
Yep.
There were going to be those questions in the offseason, and there still might be. The Bucks still have to do it. They still need to prove it, but they should be the favorite. I understand where they have the best player left.
Mm-hmm.
He still obviously has holes in his game,
And
namely free throw shooting.
And that was maybe his best performance of the postseason thus far, and it came up in a big spot.
But as opposed to, say, a Ben Simmons with the Sixers,
gross.
He's willing to work on his game and shoot and fail and learn from it and get better. And that's what you need to do, especially when you have that opportunity and you're playing those minutes. When you're open, you need to knock down a shot. You need to. And you need to be able to shoot free throws. So at least Giannis we know he's light years better than Ben Simmons anyway, because he can score at will.
Yep.
It's not like Ben Simmons in that way. But I do see Giannis shooting threes, trying his best. He airballed some free throws in that game, which were ugly, but still he had 40 points in that game. He did what he needed to do. Chris Middleton stepped up at various points in the series. So really encouraging for the Bucks. Probably saved head coach Mike Budenholzer's job, which might not be a good thing long-term, but if they're to win a championship, no one's going to complain in Milwaukee.
No, absolutely not. But you're right. It probably did save his job, because if they lose that series, he gets fired the next day. There's no way you bring him back. Someone's got to go. You're not losing anyone on the roster who are their top like 4, 5, 6 players. The only one you might lose is DiVincenzo. I think he's a free agent. I don't know. I'll have to double check. But other than that, Giannis ain't going anywhere. Middleton's going nowhere. Holiday's going nowhere. Brooks going nowhere. A bunch of these guys are going nowhere. So they might even bring back Portis from what I've been reading recently. But
PJ Tucker fits in with them.
PJ Tucker fits. But yeah, so it's the Bucks are set up. And if you're talking to someone like Greg, it should be an absolute cakewalk for Milwaukee. They should just plow through the Hawks, apparently, because Giannis is now, the second best player in the world, and just gonna run through the East now. Gonna run through whoever wins the West, and then he's gonna end up winning several chips over the next few years. We're gonna pump the brakes on that real quick. I don't think it's gonna be so quick. Atlanta is good. They're a young, spunky, high-scoring team, and it should be an interesting matchup. I think the Bucks still got it. Should win it in 6 or 7, worst case, but they should still win it. I think it's theirs to lose.
Spunky? You mean they're plucky?
That's the one.
Yep. You like it?
I like that.
Remember
I mean,
that?
I don't
You
like
hate
it,
it.
but yeah, I don't like it, but I like it a little bit. But yeah, spunky, plucky. Yeah, all of those. Young.
I don't think the Bucks are going to buzzsaw through the playoffs either. I'm not saying they can't win it all, but I think it's probably 6 and 7 games or something like that if they do win it all.
They're
I
probably
believe the Hawks are going to present them. They are the favorites, and I think that's fair, but I don't think it's like prohibitive favorites, at least not in my opinion. I haven't looked at the odds, but yeah, Phoenix is really good. I get why the Clippers would be lower because they don't have Kawhi right now, although kudos to them and Tyronn Lue for winning those games and winning that series against Utah, winning 4 straight after they were down 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
They might go down 2-0 tonight to Phoenix. Right now, Phoenix is winning in the second quarter.
You got to do what you got to do out here.
But the Suns are a very tough team, and I don't think the Hawks should be disrespected like this. They've shown they have a lot of talent. They play better defense than we thought they would, and they can shoot. And Trae Young can shoot, their superstar, and hit free throws, which is going noticed in the playoffs, where it's absolutely critical. And games come down to a few points. Even that game Saturday night where the Nets lost, it came down to overtime. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Great. One of the great games of the playoffs too. One of the best in years as well. You also had a great game 7 between the Hawks and Sixers. And both series had incredible comeback wins by the Nets in game 5 against the Bucks, and then the Hawks also in Game 5 against the Sixers, coming back from 26 down, and that was really when the Ben Simmons hate was strong.
So strong.
Now after Game 7 and his piss poor performance with 5 points and just all right, maybe he had 13 assists or something if I remember correctly, but not enough. Not enough when you're missing 10 free throws a game, damn near, and shooting like 30% throughout the playoffs. It's hideous. Ben's got to go. That's what we need to talk about.
Now we're talking Philly. So we shifted gears from the Bucks Hawks, and we're gonna take a nice dump on Philly real quick. I guess.
Let's do.
I guess that's what we're doing.
Ben
Bob.
Simmons, especially.
I guess
Embiid's
that's
got
what
to
we're
still
doing.
get in better shape.
So they lost that game. It was clearly, as far as anyone I've spoken to, anything we've heard, it's Ben Simmons' fault. Everyone's blaming Ben. It's absolutely unexcusable and just a goddamn joke that you are a 6'10" point guard in the NBA in 2021. And not only can you not shoot threes, but you're not going to take a single shot. You're not going to attempt not one shot in the fourth quarter in 4 straight games. And it's not like these games were blowouts. You didn't sit for the whole quarter because it was a blowout. You played the whole game. You played big minutes. And you're not going to take a single shot, not one shot, not even just something, just jack something up because you can, a running layup in traffic, hope something goes in or you get a call, it's frustrating to watch. It's frustrating to talk about. Like you said, Giannis has tried to improve his game, tried to be more well-rounded, tried to get a shot. At least he attempts to shoot threes or shoot in general. He doesn't go to the basket 100% of the time, just 90% of the time. But Ben is useless, man. His trade value is at an all-time low. The defense is nice, the handling is nice, the positional versatility is nice, but if he's not getting to the rack, he's a liability.
The Sixers didn't want to trade Ben Simmons in a Harden package to the Rockets.
All it would have taken him, Tabuli or whatever his fucking name is, and a first round pick or two. And the booty. And that's all.
That's going in the Hall of Fame. The Ruben Drugans Hall of Fame. Tabuli. Oh, man.
That's all it would have taken. A little Tabooty and a couple of first round picks.
I mean, he's a good defensive player. I can't blame him for that.
They didn't want to give up all the defense. He is. But come on, bro. You're telling me you're not trading that for Harden right now? You're telling me Harden and Embiid, if they're both playing healthy right now, that team doesn't win the Eastern Conference?
That's what someone could say.
With the Nets out?
If you have the same injuries, it wouldn't help them. No, but I still think they'd be better with
They would have been better with a Harden
this
on
year,
1.5 legs. They would have been better with Harden on 1.5 legs this year.
I don't care how old he is.
The same situation that they had to deal with on the Nets, they would have been better off with because at least that man can score.
Ben Simmons needs a change of scenery. He's
Ben
done in
Simmons
Philly.
is out.
Fans hate him.
Embiid called him out in the post-game conference without saying his name. Literally called a play down that he messed up, the layup that he gave up to Ty Booty. And he literally called him out. When your teammates are calling you out like that, your coach is saying, I don't know if he can be a championship winning point guard. That's a damn disgrace. You should be ashamed of yourself. You and Ty Booty, you're still on the team. And you're just disgraceful. Pissing all your Philly fans off. And now they're eliminated.
Bad. He's got to be out.
Now they're eliminated.
Forget Ben Simmons, but his trade value is at an all-time low.
So it's at an all-time low. So, him and a deal with Tabooty for Lillard, or is it going to be for a guy like Westbrook in Washington or something like that? What's it going to have to be? Because it's got to be something. And you're not getting fair equal value unless he goes to the Olympics with Australia and starts schwapping a bunch of threes and getting his confidence back.
Trade him to the Bulls like Greg wants. So
trade him to the Bulls. Yeah.
So he can,
I guess, but they're trying to win a chip with Embiid now. They're not trying to build it for another 3 years down the line. So getting Laurie Markkinen and Pat Williams maybe, or Kobe and a couple picks, that's not going to do a damn thing for you right now. Embiid's not going to want that. Embiid's going to want out too. So for that, their options are limited realistically, considering A, his value, B, the rest, how the way the rest of the league probably looks at him now, and you're taking on a seemingly broken player. It's like Carson Wentz out there. What happened? What's wrong with this guy? Are you that afraid to shoot?
He is. It's disgusting.
It's
How can you be an
crazy.
NBA player and not be willing to shoot,
It's
especially
crazy.
when you handle the ball so much?
Especially when you're several inches taller than the guys guarding you, because you're 6'10", and most point guards are 6'3" or so, 6'2", 6'4" at best. Like, what are you talking about? It's really ugly. They need to do something there. He needs to do something there. That's not going to work. That was proven already. Whether or not Atlanta should have won that series, they did. Kudos to them. But that was very much Ben's fault. If he even makes a couple of baskets in the fourth quarter, they win that game.
A few free throws.
A couple of free throws, they win that game. And it's ugly. But I digress. Enough of the 76ers for now. You wanted to go about the Hawks. You got your chance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got all that out the way. So let's go to the lottery. Let's go to something that just happened.
Let's do it.
So the Knicks are not in the lottery for the first time.
Shocker.
For the first time in what seems like forever. And it feels good. It feels good. But we now know what the NBA lottery is going to be, what the order is officially. That happened. And here we go. Detroit won the lottery to get the first pick overall. They tanked all season. They pissed everybody off. I was very much hoping that they didn't get one of the top 2 picks or even one of the top 4 picks, just to teach them a lesson for tanking and pissing me off. Just dumb. They're going to force the rules to change again because of them and Houston holding out guys and just doing dumb shit. But anyway, so Detroit's 1, Houston's 2, Cleveland is 3, Toronto 4, Orlando 5. Orlando actually has 2 picks in the lottery, 5th and 8th. 8th they got from Chicago, much to the sadness of Greg, who was very, very much hoping that the Bulls would fall into the top 4, thus keeping their pick. And sexually exciting Greg to no end.
To put it simply, yes.
Yes, getting him
Absolutely.
getting him very aroused.
Marv Albert out here.
Yep, getting him very, very aroused by having a top 4 pick. Alas, none of that happened because they got the 8th pick. That pick went to Orlando. Their butt. Golden State also has 2 picks in the lottery. They ended up with 7th from Minnesota. They got that via trade, of course, and then their own pick, 14th overall. So there you have it. That's the order. It's pretty much a 4 prospect class. It doesn't matter what order you view them. The top 4 prospects are Cade Cunningham, the guard from Oklahoma State. Evan Mobley, the center from USC. Jalen Green, I guess from the G League.
Right. He was on a G League team this year instead of going to college.
Right. And then Jalen Suggs, the guard from Gonzaga. So those are the top 4. It really, like I said, doesn't matter what order you put them in. Any one of them could realistically go number 1. It probably will be Cunningham. He's been the favorite since the beginning of the season. And considering who landed there, they really don't need a guy like Mobley. They do have Stewart at center. They have Jeremy Grant. So they're all right there. What do they need, though? Bey is a solid wing. Okay. Maybe a third guy if you're looking at peachy skies. And you got a point guard. You need a shooting guard. Cade Cunningham fits. They need a scoring guard, and that's exactly what he can be.
Well, and he may play point guard more than that. They can put Killian Hayes as shooting
or
guard.
they can put Killian Hayes, yeah,
it doesn't matter.
As the off-ball guard. As the off-ball guard. Actually, and you know what? One more thing, now that I mentioned that, I read something about Ben Simmons. One of the things they're talking about if they don't trade him is changing his game up and changing his position potentially. But my question is, why would you try to change his position and take him off ball if he can't shoot?
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
He's not going to shoot better overnight. He might get better. Hopefully, he will get better
in a few years.
Even though he's on the Sixers, I don't hate Ben Simmons. I actually love it right now because he's killing the Philly fans. But aside from that, he is a very talented player. That's what makes it frustrating. We did believe he was a great player potentially going into that draft. He goes number 1. We felt he was definitely the best prospect in that draft, and we thought we'd see a steady progression. He's shown really good signs. He is a great defensive player, but no improvement. It's just flatline. You see the statistics. It's bad. He's not getting better year to year. He needs to be able to shoot, period. If you're playing that many minutes, handling the ball that much, you at least need to possess some kind of threat. Maybe it's just a jumper, a 15-foot jumper or something, mid-range. Even that, just keep defenses honest, space the floor.
Yep.
But if you're a complete liability, even if he gets his free throws better, if you could get to 70%, that makes a huge difference over the course of a season.
No, absolutely.
He needs to get better in a lot of areas, namely those two.
Yeah, and being off
but at
ball,
least one of them.
Being off ball won't help.
You got to get better.
It's got to be better shooting or a change of scenery.
He's turning 26 soon. He's still going into the prime of his career. It's on him now, but it might not be with Philly.
No, that's it. But anyway, enough with Philly. I just wanted to throw that in because it literally just came to mind as we were talking about it. But going back to the draft for a second. So we know who the top 4 players are going to be. Those are most likely, pending something unforeseen, going to be the first 4 picks of the draft. We'll know the order draft night, but those are the top 4. After the top 4, there's still the rest of the draft to talk about. There are a few interesting options. The names are also all over the board. There is no consensus for who the 5th or 6th best prospects are, but you're going to see names like Scotty Barnes out of Florida State. You're going to see names like Jonathan Kuminga, who was also in the G League. He was actually the number 1 player in the high school junior class before reclassifying and joining the G League rather than going to college. So his name's going to be up there. Jalen Johnson, the forward out of Duke, is going to be up there. Keon Johnson from Tennessee. Moses Moody from Arkansas. All sorts, those are the names you're going to see at the top of the draft. But a lot of it's going to get sorted as we go through the NBA Combine and what should be relatively normal NBA offseason.
There's definitely studs up there, and believe the hype about those 4 guys, especially the top 3 to me, which are Cunningham, Mobley, and Suggs. In no order. I have not ranked them quite yet, but I really love Suggs. Although he is a point guard, and I feel it's a little easier to find it. Of course, it's great to have a Damian Lillard and Steph Curry, but I just see a lot of great point guards in the league, whereas some other positions are a little harder to find, especially someone who can be a two-way threat potentially. Cunningham maybe presents that. He is 6'8", and I love Mobley, great block artist, could definitely score in the league, could face up, be that stretch 5 basically.
And, he's perfect for today's NBA.
He's perfect. I love him.
Similar to Ayton coming out.
And even his brother's not half bad, but not quite Mobley.
Right.
But those are the top prospects, and deservedly so.
Yeah.
Went to some big programs, too.
Oh, yeah. Mobley went to USC. Green went to Gonzaga, as we've said.
Suggs went to
Suggs, rather. Yeah. Cunningham
to
OK State and dominated, actually. Had a really great year at OK State.
Johnson out of Duke.
Showed out, yep. So it's going to be fun. And I'm sure we're going to talk more about it as we go on. We'll definitely talk more NBA offseason and things the Knicks are going to do, targets, the Nets, how they're going to keep it going. It's going to be a fun summer. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
All right. So with that in mind,
bail.
Yeah, bail. Tuck and roll.
Yeah.
Tuck and roll, Grandma. Bail. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Dan Kornhauser.
I'm Bobby Hunt.
And don't forget to give us a follow on social media. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. Bob, what's the handle?
That handle is at DB Talking Sports. D as in Dan, B as in Bob. We appreciate all the follows. We hope we get some more comments and then feedback, negative or positive, comments, questions, concerns, thoughts.
And we'll also be posting this not only on iTunes and wherever podcasts can be found. If you Google us, we'll pop up all over the place. We'll also be posting it on thegruelingtruth.com, where I will also be submitting team reviews for the NFL. All 32 teams get one between now and the beginning of training camp. I'll be posting fantasy stuff for football. I'll be covering the NBA off season. I'll be covering the baseball as the season goes on. We'll be posting our podcasts to that website. We'll be doing videos on YouTube and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a good, long, fun summer. We're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm excited. And we appreciate you guys giving us some love. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Yep.
We appreciate subscriptions. Do that too.
Give us a follow, give us a like, share, and we'll catch you guys later.